In the headlines, Northern PDP youths hold a You Must Go rally in Kaduna. Police intercept 2 buses loaded with live cartridges in Lagos State. Tinubu Shettima Presidential Campaign Council says non-inclusion of Yemi Osinbajo in list no cause for alarm. And on the foreign scene, Typhoon Noro intensifying explosively as it nears Philippines. Hello and welcome to Trust Television's news update. This hour, I am Nten Ekman. And on the news in full, a group of youths within the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, in the north has staged a peaceful protest in Kaduna State to demand the immediate resignation of the party's national chairman, Senator Iyorchia Ayu. Holding placards with various inscriptions, the group, under the aegis of Northern PDP youth, took their protest to the state PDP secretariat in the Kaduna State capital on Saturday. Although they were denied access to the premises, the leader of the group, Chairman Northern PDP youth, Shehu Isa, insisted that you must step down to pave way for a southerner to emerge as the chairman of the PDP. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is not on the Presidential Campaign Council of the ruling All Progressives Congress, the APC. Osinbajo, who is among those who sought the presidential ticket of the ruling party, supposedly fell out with the APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the build-up to the primary election. The 422-man list released by the Presidential Campaign Council Secretary James Faleke late Friday has the presidential candidates and the party's national chairman Abdullahi Adamu as deputy chairman 1 and 2 respectively. In a statement, Faleke, while announcing the nominees of the leadership of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, advised them to pick up their appointment letters on Monday, 26 September 2022 at noon. Meanwhile, the Tinubu Shettima Presidential Campaign Council says the non-inclusion of the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is not an indication that something is amiss within the party. A statement from the chief spokesperson and director of public affairs of the council, Festus Keyamo, said since President Buhari is the chairman of the council, the president specifically directed that the vice president and the secretary to the government of the federation, Boss Mustafa, be left out of the campaign council to enable them concentrate on the governance of the country and administration of government. Keyamo noted that as a responsible party in government, all key functionaries of government cannot abandon their positions for electioneering campaigns. The campaign council said as a party that has the mandate of the Nigerian people to administer the country on their behalf at least till May 29, 2023, it intends to do so with all sense of responsibility, campaign or not. President Muhammadu Buhari has said that insecurity in Nigeria will soon end with the efforts of the Nigerian army being renewed. The president said this at the weekend in New York while speaking during an audience with the Prime Minister of Ireland, Michael Morton. The president, in a statement issued Saturday by his spokesman Femi Adesina, told the Prime Minister that with the experience during the COVID-19 pandemic, it was better for the world to work together rather than independently for enhanced progress for humanity. Michael Morton had told President Buhari that Ireland was looking for ways to increase the level of relations with the country. He expressed hope that his country will move into other areas like the deployment of technology to help Nigeria overcome its challenges in health and security.
The theme of this year's event cut across divergent issues stemming from world economy to geopolitics and global health crisis. Nothing has demonstrated this more than the coronavirus crisis, which united the world and caused a rethink on response to global emergencies and the need for food sufficiency. At the same time, the ongoing crisis in Ukraine has disrupted energy and food supply chains and thus negatively impacted the global economy. These challenges demand on all of us leaders, either of governments, global institutions, or businesses to necessarily rethink the best approaches to address new and old global challenges for our countries and continent to rise to their full potentials. African leaders must work tirelessly to get rid of corruption or by fighting it. Our national resources must not find safe havens around the world. This fight is a necessity and not a choice to give our citizens a better life through economic prosperity, social peace, and security. May I once again call on all to recall the United Nations General Assembly Special Session Against Corruption Political Declaration of June 2021 and ensure its effective implementation in the realization of our collective objective for global food security and sustainable infrastructural development and progress of our continent, so that we can take our rightful place among nations.
Police in Zamfara State have confirmed the report on attack on Ruwanjama village in Bukuyum local government area of the state, but said information is very sketchy at the moment due to the poor road and communication networks occasioned by the remote nature of the area. The police said tactical team led by the divisional police officer of Bukuyum were immediately mobilized and deployed to the village to conduct on-the-spot assessment. Public Relations Officer Mohammed Shehu said the police would furnish the public with the right information as soon as they establish what happened at the Ruwanjama village in Bukuyum local government area of Zamfara State. Bandits had reportedly killed 13 worshippers in the mosque in the area on Saturday. Now, police officers attached to the Ikorodu division in Lagos State have intercepted 2 commercial buses loaded with a large cache of live cartridges, with 3 dismantled motorcycles and some personal effects. Spokesman of the State Police Command, Benjamin Hundain, said in a statement on Saturday that they were intercepted at Poromope Estate, Ijede Road in Ikorodu area of Lagos State. Hundain said preliminary investigations indicate that the suspects were on their way to Casino State. Meanwhile, the suspect recovered exhibits as well as the vehicles with registration numbers KMC 438YK and KMC 394XF have been transferred to the Lagos State Command headquarters for further investigation. The National Association of Nigerian Students NANS Zone E Northeast has called on the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU to toe the path of honor by respecting the court judgment to return to the classes. Coordinator of NANS Zone E, Al Hassan Ada, made the call during a press conference at the NUJ Press Center in Bauchi. Adamu Imam completes the report.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU has been on strike since February 14, 2022 to press home their demand for improved funding for universities, a review of salaries for lecturers, among other issues. The federal government went to the National Industrial Court to challenge the strike. Following their over 7-month stay at home, the students says it is time for ASU to have a rethink on the matter in the interest of all Nigerians.
As the leaders of Nigerian students, to ensure that their welfare is being given to them. We keep on doing that. We are always with the government, where we used to advise them and appeal to them to do the needful for us. And inshallah, we'll keep on doing that until when we achieve our target.
NANS lamented that they are always at the receiving end whenever issues of strike come up. They, however, reiterated their commitment to protect the interests of Nigerian students by ensuring an end to the long face-off between ASU and the federal government.
My brother, keep it the record. Tomorrow, doctors will go to strike, ASU will go to strike, judiciary will go to strike, and this country will stand still. So we are making on ASU, I will say, it's not necessary that they must get all what they want 100%. But at least, if the government is ready to give them something, let us consider we are their children. This is affecting us directly. Because as you said, no minister today in Nigeria or federal permanent secretary in Nigeria that his son or daughters are in these public universities. They are all abroad.
They appeal to the federal government to also meet ASU's demand on salaries to enable them settle their debts and other expenses. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The Center for Citizens with Disabilities, CDD, has demanded the inclusion of persons with hearing impairments in Nigeria in all strata of life. The CDD Executive Director David Anyele, in a statement in commemoration of the International Day of Sign Language, harped on the need to make necessary provisions for persons with hearing impairments to enable them live a good life. He lamented that the deaf in Nigeria attracts exclusion, isolation and stigmatization, as well as poverty. The theme of this year's International Day of Sign Language is Sign Language Unites Us. A sign language interpreter in Oshogbo, Olatunbosun Taiwo, said that many of the persons with hearing impairments do not get adequate care and support from their relatives and the community.
There are so many problems that people with hearing impairments are facing. To start with, if we can see that in most cases we can see that their parents don't show care for them. They lack parental care when they're supposed to give them support and provide for their needs. Some do neglect them, thinking they are being punished by God by giving them such particular child. So they usually leave their responsibility. Some that even care may not have true understanding of what that particular child is passing through because of the gap that is between them and their children. So in most cases, they find it difficult to communicate with them, both at home and in the society at large. Also, when we talk about medical, if we have any deaf person that need attention in the hospital, they need interpreter so as to make themselves clear, because the doctor may not have clear understanding of whatsoever they are saying because they can't talk. And if there is absence of interpreter, they will not be able to express themselves well.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, how head ties identifies wearer's identity. Please stay with us for that story and more. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching News Update on Trust Television. A recap of our top stories. Northern PDP youths hold a You Must Go protest in Kaduna. And police intercept 2 buses loaded with live cartridges in Lagos State. And to other stories now, one recurring feature on Nigerian roads, especially highways, is traffic gridlock. And this is usually attributed to bad nature of the road, accidents, and other issues that hinder free flow of traffic. In this report, Noel Samson looks at the recent traffic gridlock along the Abuja-Kaduna road that left many stranded for hours.
One of the roads that is prone to cases of traffic congestion is the Abuja-Kaduna road. Often, gridlocks are caused by accidents, attack by terrorists, or bad road network. This was the case on Friday, as reports filtered in that Abuja-Kaduna Expressway was in serious traffic jam. At our press time, the gridlock had been cleared, but we got reactions from eyewitnesses at the scene.
Things that cause this accident, the problem is not from go slow only, it's from the road totally. The road is totally no good. That's the thing, that is the best thing that happened, this accident. Because our motor don't fall. And before the motor don't fall down, we meet a go slow. And this go slow is happened because of the road is no good.
The reason why I'm here is that the truck of my boss fell here because of the dilapidation of this road. Anytime a truck falls, long vehicle gridlock sets in, stretching in 100 kilometers up to Jere, often involving loss of lives and property. If the road is fixed, kidnappers cannot operate here unchallenged. They called upon the federal government to help fix the road in order to ensure free traffic flow in the area.
The government should sit up to see how they can put the road in order. The road is super bad. Most of the insecurity you see on this road is as a result of bad road. If the road is good, people can have free and easy movement to their destination. Last time we were on this road for 5 hours from Kaduna to Abuja. So if you have an emergency to attend in Abuja, a journey that is supposed to take you less than 2 hours, and you are spending more than 5 hours on the road, basically because of the bad road.
This is the point where the accident happened that caused traffic there, Lord. But as you can see now, commuters can now travel freely from Abuja to Kaduna and Kaduna to Abuja. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And after days of painstaking work between the Kaduna State Government, Julius Berger Nigeria PLC, the military and other relevant agencies, the gridlock on the Kateri axis of the Kaduna-Abuja road has been resolved. A statement from the Kaduna State Commissioner and Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Sami Larowan, said there is now free flow of traffic at kilometer 75 of the highway, which was the epicenter of the gridlock after a heavy-duty vehicle broke down at the location. Rowan, while regretting the protracted situation which placed citizens in an undesirable state of severe hardship for days, commended security agencies that worked round the clock to ensure continuous security and safety of stranded citizens. Now, head ties are a common garment that are worn in African countries and in most cases serve as a means of identification of a particular religion or community of the wearer. Now, due to the diversity of Nigeria and the number of ethnic groups, the way that head ties are worn varies between communities. In the special report, Salis Lawan takes a look at innovations in tying the head ties. The report.
Tie is all about enhancing beauty. When you have this glam, like when you make up and you have this head tie on your head, there's this look, there's this confidence, there's this, you look good, you look very good.
Head tie is basically a form of dressing for the head, worn by women in the Western African country of Nigeria. In contrast to the head ties worn by women in other countries, it is usually large and ornate, and as a result, is associated with ceremonial outings rather than day-to-day usage.
This one I'm tying is called sweets, and the one on my head is called Kafi.
When I take gele or I come for makeup, I feel happy and I feel like I'm so beautiful and more beautiful again.
However, some women also wear a smaller, less formal head tie for everyday activities.
We have cross round, cross side, aseta, most especially used in the northern parts of the region. Aseta is almost everywhere.
Trust TV visited some locations where the brains behind innovations to tying head ties are, and they give more insight as regards tying.
I myself make a living from tying head tie. I don't tie for free. At times I used to attach it to the makeup.
Started with tying before makeup. It was through tying that I paid money for my training.
Ceremonial head ties usually cover both the ears and hair of the wearer, whereas everyday head ties will only cover the hair. No matter the sizes, shapes, and structure, the beauty of head ties will always add color. From Yola, Salis Lawan, Trust TV News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has said that Africa has remained at the far end of the Global Development Index because of corruption menace. The president spoke in New York in his capacity as the African Union champion on efforts to eliminate corruption in the continent at a high-level side event on food security response, combating illicit financial flows, and securing asset returns for sustainable development on the margins of the 77th session of the United Nations General Assembly. He urged African leaders to fight tirelessly to get rid of corruption. The president, who provided his perspectives on the effects of corruption in the continent and the way forward at the event co-hosted by the African Union Development Agency, New Partnership for Africa's Development, AUDA-NAPAD, and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, said he was honored to serve as AU champion on anti-corruption since 2018. Buhari, however, cautioned that these lofty goals cannot be achieved if corruption, illicit financial inflows, serious and organized crimes are not effectively addressed. He expressed concern that criminals are taking advantage of global food crisis to perpetuate illegal financial flows, with the ongoing crisis in Ukraine disrupting energy and food supply chains, thus negatively impacting the global economy in Africa.
These lofty goals cannot be achieved if corruption, illicit financial flows, serious and organized crimes are not effectively addressed. Rice, wheat, and fertilizer imports were riddled with cross-corrupt practices such as over-invoicing and transfer pricing. It is only when these crimes are contained that we can secure the recovery and return of illicitly acquired assets to victim countries, which will then provide the much needed resources in the immediate term to address development requirements. Your Excellencies, this government has not relented in its efforts to curb illicit financial flows, engender food security, and achieve sustainable economic development.
Some bookshop operators in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, have lamented the dwindling reading culture among Nigerians, especially the youth, due to the advent of technology. Now, this culture has negatively impacted bookshop owners as patronage continually dwindles. Abbas Talibi spoke to some bookshop operators and now reports.
Bookstores and libraries face hard times and poor patronage as students, others embrace e-books due to the advent of technology. Oyelade Nosmat Abolade, who sells books, said although the advent of technology is affecting their business negatively, it however adds value to the bookshop business when viewed from another angle.
Some area that is help us, where it didn't help us in the view areas. There are some areas that you see a book maybe you see it in social media or you see the titles. Instead of you to come to the bookshop and get the book, you can also search for it online and started reading it. And some areas we post our shop, so do the adverts on social media, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We see they will patronize too.
Mr. Adebayo, who was at a bookshop to buy books, said today's youth don't have an interest in reading books.
Youth of these days, they are not interested in reading. The social media thing has even spoiled the thing. Has spoiled everything entirely.
He said parents have a lot to do to encourage their children to read and improve in their reading culture.
Parents should encourage the children so that we go back to the 60s when somebody like me was in school, primary, secondary. In those days, there is always a library in every school.
It is something that is so worrisome in the sense that gone are the days where students go to libraries to read. Gone are the days where students wait after school hours to read at school. Even school libraries, even the public libraries too, are no more something that our students patronize again. Any assignment given to them, they will just branch to Cyber Cafe, they will just log into Google, Wikipedia, they will see answer there. So with the advent of the advent of ICT technology, the students are beginning to read less. Gone are the days that the parents will wait. You will see the student carry their book that it's a must, you must read. But the students, the government, all stakeholders in the education sector must come together to do something about this.
From Abeokuta, Abbas Ibrahim Alibi, Trust TV, Lagos.
Officers of the Nigerian Customs Service Zone A Federal Operations Unit have seized 81,425 litres of premium motor spirit PMS in the Badagry area of Lagos State. Acting controller of the unit, Hussein Ejibunu, explained that the suspect used Dane guns to shoot at customs officers who made the seizure. He said the seizure followed painstaking and intelligence that led to the seizures. And the foreign authorities in the Philippines have started evacuating people from coastal areas as a powerful typhoon barrels towards the heavily populated island of Luzon, where the capital Manila is located. The disaster agency said in an advisory that Typhoon Noro became a super typhoon after a period of explosive intensification, with sustained winds increasing to 185 kilometers per hour on Sunday morning. The storm, the strongest to hit the Philippines this year, is expected to continue strengthening as it makes landfall about 80 kilometers northeast of Manila in the afternoon or evening local time. The Philippines is regularly ravaged by storms, with scientists warning they are becoming more powerful as the world gets warmer because of climate change. And that's it on News Update this hour. For more, do connect with us across all our social media platforms. I am Tenek Bang. Thanks for watching.